The Columbia Wetlands is one of the few remaining pristine floodplain wetlands left in North America. This biologically rich system is located within the Rocky Mountain Trench of the Canadian Rockies in southeastern British Columbia and encompasses the only undammed section of the 2,000-kilometer-long Columbia River. It is integral to the ecological health and functioning of the Columbia Valley with its irreplaceable ecosystem services, wildlife corridors, and high biodiversity. Yet, a comprehensive list of species at risk and their occurrences has been missing for the Columbia Wetlands and Valley. It's for this reason that the Columbia Wetlands Stewardship Partners have developed a report for the Kootenay Connect Columbia Wetlands project. This provides the first comprehensive list of species at risk in the 180-kilometer-long Columbia Valley from Canal Flats to Donald. This qualitative and spatial collation of data identifies data gaps and provides recommendations for conservation actions that will help conserve and enhance species at risk in the Columbia Valley moving forward. Titled A Literature Review of Species at Risk in the Columbia Valley, the report summarizes the research that has been conducted to date for bird, plant, mammal, reptile, and amphibian species at risk in the Columbia Valley, as well as 2 select focal species. Based on this research, the report determined that a total of 65 species at risk and 21 ecological communities at risk are found within the study area, including 35 bird species and 9 different mammal species. Preliminary results from this study indicate that, from a species at risk perspective, the Columbia Wetlands appears to be a biological hotspot, but there are significant knowledge gaps. The species at risk assessment presented in the report makes several recommendations to fill these gaps and work towards species at risk recovery efforts in years 2, 3, and 4 of the Kootenay Connect project. These recommendations include the implementation of surveys and monitoring, habitat enhancement and protection, and working with government to expand the boundaries of federally and provincially legislated critically habitat, Columbia Wetlands Wildlife Management Area, wildlife habitat areas, and also designating new ones such as wildlife habitat features and migratory bird sanctuaries. Included in the report are multiple maps indicating the current federal and provincially legislated critical habitat and wildlife habitat areas, the spatial distribution of bird species at risk given available data records, grizzly bear core habitat, amphibian locations, biodiversity hotspots, and wildlife linkage areas, and more. There were various data sources used for this research, including the British Columbia Conservation Data Center, eBird, the Columbia Wetlands Stewardship Partners database, government data, the knowledge of local experts, the final reports from projects supported by regional funding agencies, such as the Columbia Basin Trust and the Fish and Wildlife Compensation Program. GIS maps were developed by Vivid Consulting. This report, developed for Kootenay Connect, is now the main source of information for species at risk in the Columbia Valley and will be the cornerstone of conservation work in the Columbia Wetlands for the years to come.